Hey guys, welcome back to Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys coming by the channel today for the video. And guys, today we're going to be talking about fishing big plastic worms, big giant plastic worms, really any type of a worm over about 10 inches long. This is the time of year that you want to fish a big worm. The time of filming this video, right around the first part of July, and July and August are my big worm months. This is the time of year I fish them. I'm going to explain why I do that in today's video here. Give you guys some tips and advice on the worms I like and the situations they work in and the type of cover they work in. So we're going to dig into that in today's episode here. I'm also, guys, real quick before we get started, man, guys, if you're looking for a freaking awesome bait cast reel, if you're in the market for one, guys, check out this new Cast King ALTI bait cast reel. Guys, this is the first bait cast reel I've ever used that you can literally cast it without thumbing it and you don't get backlash. You can cast it like a spin cast reel once you adjust the drag. It's got this halo vortex braking system on it that just basically eliminates backlashes. It's got a true all titanium spool, only reel on the market that's got it, 11 ball bearings. The thing is built for stout. It's only about 200 bucks. I can't believe that a reel of this quality is only $200. So if you guys are interested, I'll have this reel in my description of this video here, the Cast King link. And if you use the promo code Randy10, you get an additional discount on the reel there, so appreciate that. And real quick, guys, plug here, in the celebration of our country's 250th anniversary, Solar Bat is offering 50% off on my signature series RB2s and 3 sunglasses from Solar Bat. That's right, half price on them. Use the promo code RandyB for free shipping and handling. Got 3 different frame colors, a bunch of different lens colors, so I'll have the Solar Bat link in this video description too, so I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, now this is a giant worm here, and this is a little bigger than what I'm talking about, but guys, bass will still hit this right here. Worms like this, I remember back when I was a little kid, my dad had a bunch of giant plastic worms in his tackle box, like as big around as my thumb, and they would hook them with like a 3/0 hook, and they would run it, and the hook would just be exposed on the outside. But he told me they'd catch, big fish down like at Bull Shoals Lake in Arkansas at night on those things. So people have been fishing these big worms for a long time. Now, this one right here, is a lot of people say, well, they'll never bite something like that. Guys, I promise you, bass will bite this. I have seen bass myself attack 2.5 and 3 foot long water snakes, eat them up. The 4, 5, 6 pound bass, guys, it can eat a 3 foot snake in a second. So a worm like this is nothing to a fish. I mean, they will definitely bite the thing. But moreover, when I'm talking about big worms in today's videos, I'm talking about the more commercially available ones. Now, my favorite big worm for the summertime is this Zoom Old Monster Magnum. This is a 12-inch long plastic worm. Zoom makes a Old Monster, which is 10 inches, but the Old Monster Magnum, it's about 2 inches longer, and it's a little bit fatter through the main part of the worm here. Guys, bass love this thing in the summertime of the year. I've caught so many good bags of fish on this Old Monster Magnum in the summertime. I sort of want to talk to you guys about how I like to fish it and what I like to look around. Now, the first time I ever fished this thing, I was fishing a tournament down at Kentucky Lake. It was a June tournament, but it was hot when we were down there. And this particular tournament, Kentucky Lake still had grass in it. And I was catching some fish, or catching quite a few of my fish on a chatterbait in that grass, and I was doing good in the tournament. I think I was in 13th place or something going into the last day. But I felt that I needed another bait, like a backup bait, because the chatterbait fish, I was only getting 5 or 6 hits a day on it. So the last day of that tournament, I started out with a 12-inch Old Monster Magnum, and I just rigged it Texas rig. I put it on a 1/2 ounce sinker, and I started casting it into that grass where I was catching them on the chatterbait fish on. And guys, the first 2 bites I got were both 5-pounders on it, and wound up catching like 23 pounds that day, all on the Old Monster Magnum here. So that was the first experience I had using it as far as catching fish. And I've used it a bunch since then. So I sort of want to go over in today's video the scenarios and situations that you want to try this thing in. Now, the good thing about this thing, it works in 3 different types of situations here. It'll work shallow, it'll work suspended, and it'll work in deep water. Now, this is a really good worm. If you have some type of a off-colored water situation, like water visibility about 2 foot or less, and you've got shallow docks, shallow laydowns, lily pads, something like that, you can put that old Monster Magnum on a light sinker, put it on like a 1/8 or a 3/16 ounce sinker, and it still sinks pretty fast, even with the 3/16, because the bait's so heavy. Flip it and pitch it around that shallow cover. Guys, that bass, you wouldn't think that a bass would hit that big thing in shallow water, but guys, they will, especially if you got some flooded cover, like flooded willows or bushes. That's one way. The second way is this is a great bait, guys, for fishing deeper on hard structure places in the summertime. So drop-offs, ledges, out off the ends of points, that's probably one of my favorite baits. I'll put it on like a 3/8 ounce sinker, and I'll fan cast main lake and secondary points in the summer with it in 10 to 20 foot of water. You don't have to have cover there or drops. It helps if it does, but it's a really good worm to fish deeper on the bottom like that. And I've also caught them Carolina rigging the thing as well as Texas rigging it. And the third way that you want to try this, and this is something that a lot of people don't do, is this thing is deadly in the summertime, swimming it. Swimming that big giant worm will catch you a giant bag of fish in the summertime of the year. So I'll put it on an 1/8 ounce sinker. I want to have, light sinker with it. And I want to have water visibility at probably anywhere between 1 to 3 foot, something like that. And I want to have cover in less than 10 foot of water. And then I'll throw the worm out there and I'll just swim it, a couple feet underneath the water. I'll keep my rod tip high and just swim it 2 feet under the water. If there's a boat dock there, I'll pitch it out next to that dock and swim it underneath the styrofoam or the plastic floats there. If they're standing or submerged timber, I'll swim it over the top of that timber. I'll swim it through laydowns. I'll swim it through grass beds. Bass love that thing swimming in the summertime. The biggest limit I've ever caught in my life, I actually set a record in a Central Pro-Am tournament at the end of June at Truman Lake, swimming that big worm up there. I had 25 pounds, 7 ounces, swimming it through submerged and standing timber in Truman Lake up there. But another thing about that big worm, guys, it's like when you put that thing on, it's not like when you're throwing a big 10-inch glide bait or swim bait where you don't get many bites on it. And if you do get a bite, it's going to be a giant. I have caught tons of 2.5 pound fish on that 12-inch worm. So you can get a lot of bites on it. It's not, just because you put that 12-inch worm on, don't think that you're only fishing for 3 or 4 bites or 1 or 2 bites a day. I've had 20 fish days on them before. Bass don't think anything about hitting a 12-inch worm if it's a 2-pounder or bigger. And most of the time I keep my colors pretty simple. I like Junebug and Redbug are my 2 favorite colors. I don't really use any type of a green pumpkin because the water clarity and the depth that I'm fishing in, I usually want a little darker color. But if you want to save some time, I'll put that old Monster Magnum link and my Tackle Warehouse link in this video description. You can order them through that link there. And if you just want to try it out, but you don't want to get a bunch of colors, get Junebug and Redbug or Plum. Plum, Junebug, or Redbug are the 3 favorite colors. And put it on like a 4/0 straight shank hook and see what you think about it, guys. I fish it on a flipping stick all the time too. Even if I'm fishing it deep, it'll definitely catch you some quality fish. So hope it helps out.